Well, Claudia, first of all, I just wanted to thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to talk with me today. I am super excited to do an employee spotlight with you based on your current work that you do for SSAI. My first question I wanted to ask you was, what drew you to SSAI, and how does the company's mission resonate with you personally?
Well, Jason, I don't know if you knew this, but I started working with SSAI in 2020 when the contract I was supporting, which was a Geodesy and Geophysics science support to NASA contract, merged with the contract that SSAI had. And I also came higher as a manager as well, in addition to a technical person. So 50% of my time is devoted to that. And at the time, I knew SSAI for their reputation to being one of the leading NASA contractors at Goddard Space Flight Center, which, I've been supporting since 1997. So it's been, a long time that I was hearing SSAI and how good they were, not only to their employees, but in terms of the technical and engineering support they were providing. And many of the things that SSAI stand for actually resonate with who I am, my personality. So it was known that they aim to create a very familiar environment, which I definitely enjoyed all these years that I've been working for them. And employees were always challenged intellectually, and they were always very bright people from different backgrounds that I could actually interact with, just like what I've been doing before. So for me, I thought it would be a nice transition to supporting work through SSAI. I also love the fact that they're really very involved with the community and local community and projects that are all supporting not only the community, but also engaging into promoting science and STEM disciplines. So I think all of those things were really good things for me to get engaged with. And, as I said, it gave me the opportunity to continue to interact with very bright, intelligent people that were very engaged in the work that we're doing. I thought that they were always very good at giving opportunities for people to grow. And I could learn from everybody that continued to work with SSAI and also grow myself. So.
Absolutely. I think that was very well said, Claudia. And I really appreciate you highlighting more about your experiences and how you got involved with SSAI. And I definitely echo what you just said, because when I came aboard to SSAI as well, there definitely was a true family feel. And, it's a great opportunity for you to get to know your managers. You can get to know the company executives as well, because that definitely makes all the difference in the long run. And it enables you to grow, like you said. And just as a funny side note, when you said that you've been supporting NASA contracts since 1997, I was 1 year old at the time. So
I know. Not to date myself, but it's the reality. I do have a little bit of experience behind me that I'm still carrying with me. But yeah. So as you're stating it, I get to interact with people of all backgrounds, all ages, all scientific and engineering backgrounds. So it's a good thing.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you. And, I really appreciate you highlighting, Claudia, more about your experiences and how you got involved with SSAI. My next question I wanted to ask you was, your work in geodesy and geophysics plays a crucial role in understanding our planet. What is one of the most fascinating discoveries or projects worked on at SSAI, and how does it impact scientific research or everyday life for all?
Okay. Tough question to answer in one particular subject, but I'm gonna see if I can do a good job at doing that. So when I started working with SSAI, I was already involved with a mission called ISAT-2. The main goal of this mission, carries an altimeter, multi-beam photon counting altimeter, that has the goal to measure elevations around the globe and look at elevation changes in the ice sheets, changes in sea ice, changes in biomass, and do all the applications that you can do, including bathymetry now in shallow areas, to sort of like support all of the sciences, including polar ice sheet sciences, equatorial regions and boreal forests, and also inland water studies to look at water storage changes over the world, in addition to ocean science as well. So obviously, all of those topics are very important for us to monitor the changes that are happening as things as time goes on, and also to use that data with other satellite mission data that is out there trying to study other problems on the Earth is pretty important. So before that, I was involved with the ISAT mission, which was also a single beam this time altimeter that also look at changes over the globe. The coverage was less, but still the precision was and accuracy was really, really good. So ISAT-2 launched in 2018. And by the time I joined SSAI, I was already working on that mission for 2 years. With ISAT-1, I was helping develop and calibrate and validate products for land applications at the time. So I look at changes that were related to things like natural hazards, volcanoes, changes in terraces height due to any earthquakes that might happen, any changes that happen through because of tsunamis, things like that. And I also used the altimetry. I was very lucky I got funded to develop a database for what we call geodetic control, which is using the best of the altimetry as one would use a GPS measurement to actually evaluate the accuracy of elevation models. Elevation models are very important in many applications, including helping you fly the plane or, send troops somewhere to go through difficult terrain and so on. So I spent a lot of years doing evaluations of digital elevation models with the altimetry data that I was helping process. In addition to that, I worked on many other applications of laser altimetry. And one of those was looking at the inland water changes, monitoring the changes in storage by looking at the height of the water on lakes and reservoirs. And I continue to do some of the work now associated with the ISAT-2 mission. I started with ISAT-1 and continue now. And also collaborating with international colleagues as well. So, but I think that one of the most important parts of my job is that I get to manage and the Geodesy and Geophysics group, a group of very bright people that are doing all kinds of support in the hydrosphere, biosphere, and geophysics contract. And my folks are, come from a variety of backgrounds, aerospace engineers, or particle physicists, astronomers, people that study fire detection with satellite data, and so on. Also a bunch of very brilliant programmers as well, developers. So my folks are actually supporting every aspect of the ISAT-2 mission, including the production of the products that people are using in the scientific community. And they're also actually helping with the precision orbit determination, so the geolocation on the ground of those measurements as good as it can get. And we can locate it to better than 4.5 meters, every single measurement of elevation. So with a precision that much better than 10 centimeters. So you can see they're doing a great job considering what over 500 kilometers above. And they're also supporting all the activities, like targeting the satellite to a particular place to do observations that will go with any kind of rapid change that's happening, like a volcano eruption, or to target places that we're using to calibrate the data and validate their measurements. So as part of my support and all that, I also worked a lot. Before, I used to do some field campaign support, and I love doing that. I got to go and do a kinematic GPS survey twice at the Salar de Uyuni, which is one of the biggest salt flat in Latin America, in Bolivia, Chile border, and one of my favorite places on Earth, really unreal. People that have visited the ice sheets compared it to that, except for it was surrounded by volcanoes. So we got to measure the surface to high accuracy, so it could be used as a validation surface for many altimetry missions, not just laser altimetry, but also radar. So being also part of the technical support and being able to facilitate the work this group is doing to support the ISAT-2 mission, the JETA mission on the space station that is looking into biomass, also with a multi-beam altimeter, and gravity missions like GRACE and GRACE Follow-On that are looking at time variable gravity globally and so on. Also supporting the design of new missions that can be proposed for the future. I think all of that is probably the most important part of my work, being able to facilitate also that these folks can do a good job supporting. And, I don't have to ask for much. They're excellent. And I'm very blessed with a really good technical group. So I think that's one of the most important parts of my work. I actually also work with the Space Geodesy project at Goddard. And the Space Geodesy project basically runs not only the operation of the networks that are supporting geodesy, networks like VLBI, as very long baseline interferometry, satellite laser ranging, SLR, and so on. But in my case, I'm supporting it as the International Laser Ranging Central Bureau Secretary. So I help coordinate all the activities for satellite laser ranging to not only, all the GPS constellations that keep growing from different countries, but also missions like ISAT, ISAT-2, GRACE, GRACE Follow-On, and so on. Air Science mission. And the contribution of these geodetic techniques is very important to actually maintain and update the International Terrestrial Reference Frame. So that terrestrial reference frame is what all that mission data that we collect for Air Science mission is in reference to. And defining that reference system is very important. And they're seeking an accuracy of less than 2 millimeters for that. So I didn't want to forget to mention that because the work that those folks are doing is extremely important. And my little part is just coordinating satellite laser ranging activities. So it does keep me pretty busy, but it's very important work in geodesy. And, we're constantly trying to get people engaged in geodesy. It's really hard to do because it needs hard sciences from the beginning. But there are now centers of excellence that are really dedicated to actually grow the community of knowledge. So we can have young people coming in and helping infuse new blood into the whole, science of geodesy, and, not leave it only to the Europeans, but also grow it in the U.S. and encourage also other less developed countries to grow the science as well.
Absolutely. I think that was very well said, Claudia, and that is awesome in terms of the work that's going on with that project as well. Again, it's just truly exciting and truly fascinating to dive deep into all of that science. So we're all just very excited to see the continued data that comes with all of these different projects that you and your team are involved in. So I very much appreciate you highlighting all of that. And to transition into my final question, I know you mentioned about a trip that you traveled to for one of your projects. I don't know if that's the answer to this question, but this is a fun question. If you could travel anywhere in the world to study geophysical phenomena up close, where would you go and what would you hope to discover?
Oh, wow. Yeah, Bolivia and the Salar de Uyuni was definitely one of my favorite projects that I had to support when I was still doing field campaign work. So no doubt. But I guess you can send me anywhere in the world where there's still either tectonic activity or rapid changes happening. And, with whatever instrument that I can use to measure those changes, I will go in person. I love to travel. I don't have to lie about that. I do love to travel, and I've been very lucky that in the stages when I was supporting field campaign, I was able to do it as part of the science team or supporting the science team. I'd be able to travel all over to support science team meetings and present at international conferences as well. And right now, supporting the ILRS, I also get to interact, not only online with the international community, but also get to travel to places. Most recently, China, Kunming, for an international workshop on laser ranging. And this year, I will be going to Peru. So to me, every new trip is the trip I want to be in, I guess you can say. I'm very excited to support any travel that I have to, where I usually get to give a talk about the missions that I'm supporting, and also get to help out with the organization of the workshops. For laser ranging, we get to talk about science, technology. That project is really trying to move things forward. Most recently, we started working through the support of, we're going to be ranging to a new retroreflector in the moon, University of Maryland NASA mission that will be landing a retroreflector on the moon on March 2nd. So we're working towards supporting that. But, reality is that for doing the science and the work I do right now, I don't need to go anywhere. I could download data from all over the place and work in front of my computer. Luckily, that's not the case, and I can get to go places, even if it is to communicate science and progress on the things I support. So recently I visited Iceland and talk about an active place, tectonically speaking. I was fascinated. I can't wait to go back there. And I can't wait to go back there doing some sort of geology trip where I could actually look at this active processes live and try to understand everything that's going on. So I highly recommend it. Yeah, I got to go to Iceland as part of a science team for ISA-2 meeting, which was also a joint team meeting with the Cryosat mission. And that's another thing that's wonderful about being able to travel and communicate science and interact with people that are working on other missions, the interdisciplinary studies that you can be involved in. So yeah, send me anywhere. I'll be happy. I'll figure out something important to get out of that trip and learn something new. So I don't know. I mean, that was a roundabout way to answer your question, I guess. But
Wow, that's awesome, Claudia, and I'm thrilled to hear that you like to travel to different places as well. I know I definitely do as well.
Yeah, I took a tour from geology for 1 year to geophysics for the rest of my career. I used to be a seismologist before, and that's why tectonics and neotectonics is all very important to me, in addition to being able to get out there and look at geological features. But I mean, I can't complain about the way my career has gone and all the things I've learned through the years. So, and Goddard and companies like SSAI are a great place for that to happen. With everybody working in different fields, you can stay rounded and knowledgeable, and your mind is always going to be challenged. You can get great discussions going on and learn. So
Absolutely. I think that is very well said, Claudia. And I definitely agree with you. SSAI is a place, to be challenged and to dream big and to step into the unknown, which is definitely something that I very much enjoy myself. And I have learned so much over the course of my journey at SSAI. So it's just absolutely incredible. I'm very honored, very fortunate to be here. And I can tell based on your enthusiasm and your work that you are absolutely thrilled to be here as well, which is wonderful because you definitely want to enjoy what you're doing because, if you don't, then it's going to impact the work that you do. So
absolutely.
With that, Claudia, I just, again, wanted to thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to talk with me today. Your work, including your colleagues' work, is truly outstanding. And you and your team are definitely making an impact and a difference globally. And everybody around the world is going to continue to be fascinated by the great work that you and your team are going to be doing. So please definitely keep us informed in terms of some continued insights and also some next trips that you go on. And we can't wait to highlight that.
Great. Thank you, Jason. My pleasure.